Hi, and welcome back. Let's continue our discussion on the Keynesian School of Economics. So, as you recall, the focus of the Keynesian School is really on aggregate demand, right? And probably the best way to understand the key to it is to go back to our old friend, the circular flow model. So, I just have replicated a portion of the circular flow model here, primarily having to do with households. Right, and you recall what households do in the goods market is exchange some amount of spending for goods and services. I don't have to explain that to you. You're experts in doing that, right? What do you do on on Saturday? You go shopping. What do you do? Online you shop. What do you do when you're sad? You shop, et cetera, et cetera. But in the resource market or in the factors market, what happens to households? Well, they provide resources, mainly labor, but other resources including capital and etc. But they provide that for what? In exchange for income. And it's this relationship right here that's key in the Keynesian school, right? Because, oops, sorry, dropped my my pen there. So this relationship is important. So Keynes talked about spending as consumption spending, right? And that's the spending that households or consumers do. And then income becomes, well, it's Y because capital I represents investment, small I represents interest. And so all the I's were taken, so now it's Y. But this relationship is key in the Keynesian school. So where your consumption equals your income is a break-even point and ultimately a starting point for building an equilibrium that we will talk about here now. Okay, so a few things about these. So the first, let's start with income. So income is exactly what it says, or what I explained it, right? It's payments from firms and corporations to households for mostly labor, but other resources. Could be capital, etc. But your income, especially when the government gets involved, is adjusted, right? Because you have to take out taxes. And once you take out taxes, what do you have left over? You have disposable income, right? Now, on the consumption side, it's not just as easy as a dollar made is a dollar spent, right? Keynes developed a consumption function to explain how consumption occurs. And what I'll do right now is sort of take care of this. I guess I can get rid of all that. All right, so consumption function. If you recall, consumption isn't just a dollar in, a dollar out. The consumption function that Keynes developed included autonomous consumption, which is consumption that occurs even when your income is zero. Unfortunately, that's probably here in May 2020 or March 2020. Unfortunately, probably some people out there that even though they have zero income, still have some rent due, okay? There's a marginal propensity to consume. That's basically for every dollar that is gained, what percentage of that dollar is consumed. The best way to understand marginal propensity to consume is a marginal propensity to consume plus the marginal propensity to save always equals zero. I'm sorry, that's not a zero, that's a one. One. And then disposable income. So that consumption function becomes key in understanding the Keynesian calculations and calculation of equilibrium. Okay, so let me end this video, and then the next video we'll set up a calculation to figure out what break even is.